Hello, everyone. I hope you all had a great weekend. It looks like that polar vortex is starting to rear its head. I don't think it's going to throw us any big surf on Maui, but I hope everybody stays warm on the mainland. It's already chilling down here on Maui, but what is not chilling is the stock market. As you can see, the Dow Jones Industrial Average V ramp down, V ramp up. Go down every day, go up every day. That is the I guess the tune of this market right now, and it was kind of the tune in early 2014. It was kind of the tune in April. It was kind of the tune in August. It's kind of the tune now. Now, if we look at past times that we V-ramped, it kind of looks like that we're going to run that course where we kind of get that little rollover thing. But overall, stocks look good. I've got a ton of long signals again. I've got a lot of stocks that I'm going to enter buy stops on this weekend. So, barring a market breakdown, we look good. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, as you can see, is hitting new highs. We're V-ramping straight up, no well above average volume. So, like I said, we have to expect a pullback soon, especially with some very overbought conditions that we have in the market. Look at my MACD line and TSV line on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You see it's overbought, but on a weekly, this is why I just think we're just going to pull back. We are nowhere near overbought levels on the weekly on either one. So, I'm just thinking it's just going to be a pullback time. The NYSE, same thing. Very overbought, but if you look at the weekly oscillators, not overbought at all. S&P 500 daily, MACD, extremely overbought. In fact, if you look at the daily MACD, going back to 2011, has never been this overbought. But like I said, on a weekly, we are nowhere near overbought. So we could still keep V-ramping higher. And what has been good to see is that the Russell 2000, look at it handle here ever so beautifully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days handling. 1173 close puts it right near the 1174.50 open, 1178.40 high that was set back here on the 3rd. So overall, the Russell 2000 looks like it wants to break. And once again, look at that MACD, higher than it's ever been since 2011. But on a weekly, TSV and MACD has a long way to go. NASDAQ, same similar situation. MACD, higher than it's been since 2011. I think that that's particularly bullish. Obviously, whenever you get this overbought, that's an extreme sign of strength. And then it's confirmed because on a weekly, we're nowhere near overbought. And just to show you the NASDAQ 100 on a weekly, same thing. We are up there, but we're not extremely overbought. 2011 levels seen not since 2011 again on the NASDAQ 100. So overall, the market looks good. So what do we have out there today? Well, first, let's get to some house cleaning. PTX, if you still have it, technically it's good on these levels. It's still holding above the 9 low a day of the signal date. So if you're going on an end of day basis, you're still going to be long PTX. However, on Friday, intraday, all my sell stops were hit. I've been completely sold out 100%. That means that I got a pretty crappy fill because one of my stops was at 885, and you can see that it closed at 909. But if you're an end-of-day signal basis only, not using those sell stops, hopefully you weren't long SLXP or ATHM, but PTX is closing below the 20-day moving average. The confirmation closed below the 20-day moving average, not shown here, and it's lost its main catalyst, the green BOP, with a low-price stock. Once it loses that, it has to go at least half if it hasn't failed. So 50, 75, 100%, it's up to you. I'm already completely out of it. Done. LDL. I listed it at first as a 25% sell, but I had to check because I can't really tell here, but it is closing below the 50-day moving average, so it's a 50% sell. I'm already out of half of this position whenever it moved below the 29.59 intraday low the day before. So half of LDL is already out for me. Now another half is going to be taken out with the rest of the half of the position that's going to remain. It's got to move 10 cents below 28.20. If it does that, I'll be completely out of LDL on Monday, but now you know where my final stop is. So LDL is also 50%. NLNK is one that I was just poking around with, trying to see if I can't get some Momo stocks, 1%er position. Got a good fill on it, but it's closing at 32.15. 32.15 is a close below 32.75. And intraday, the low was 31.90, as you can see here. Intraday, it got down to 31.55. So whenever it hit 31.89, my sell stop went off. So I'm already out of half at 31.89. still holding. My final sell stop on this position is 30.53. I do believe it could be 30.44. I'm not going to go look right now, but you know vicinity of where it's at. But if you happen to buy this stock by watching the video, which I really doubt it, this would be a 50% sell end of day. And the most disappointing action of the day, AGI. Oh my God, why does things have to do like this in this market? We just watched a 65% gain just turn into a 40% gain in one day. Ugly, 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 ugly sell-off. I mean, we didn't even have a chance. We didn't have a chance. There's nothing you can do. You can do hindsight all you want. Oh, I should have look at this reversal here. I should have known better. I should have known that this No, how? Still above the 5-day moving average. Why would you sell? We never closed below the 10-day moving average. We have the big intraday tail. If anything, that's a buyable kind of signal if you're looking to add and you focus on AGIO. So there's nothing you could do. It was a great gap up in the morning, but to see it close like that, very disappointing. Hopefully it gaps up in the morning on Monday to give us a better fill, but pretty ugly action. That is a 50% sell, no more, no less. 25%, sure, if you really have faith in it, but with it losing positive bop, huge volume, the big reversal, I'm going to go ahead and pare back half. It simply should not have acted like that on Friday. So now let's get to the new long positions. I had a buy stop execute, MFRM. So I am long MFRM 2.5%. If you are not long this position, you can definitely go long on Monday as it's still within a buyable level. But as for new longs that we are going to take, that I am going to take, SCRV is a Cansom quality IPO. Look at all of this bullish action. The lower opens, higher closes, except for right here in October when we obviously had the market sell off and then there was no volume. Back to the higher closes, lower opens. Finally, a pocket pivot point signal on well above average volume right near the 50-day moving average. 2.5% long signal on SCRV. Earnings are out of the way. Data is a pre-perfect speculator scan stock. Data had earnings, beat earnings. It kind of had an iffy first day, but big support on Friday. It actually closed higher than where it opened. We look good overall on this chart pattern, so data is going to be a 2.5% long position. A move below the low a day, obviously we start selling and then move back into the 11.5 price range. We're going to be completely out of data. I have my sell stops on it, but that's a 2.5% position. Remember, before to get into perfect speculator scan, you got to be in the perfect speculator scan. So, and most of the stocks that show up there do show up in the perfect speculator scan, but not all. Obviously, the failure rate is much higher than it just being outright in the perfect speculator scan. But it is not, and that is that. Also, another new long that is in the pre-perfect speculator scan, once again, not in the perfect speculator scan, UEIC. Big intraday reversal following earnings, back-to-back pocket pivot point signals. I like the move overall. However, if you look at an arithmetic chart, you can see that the price movement, you know, this is a very short little consolidation period after a long V-shaped cut pattern. Incorrectly, you know, overall kind of ugly looking V-shaped cut pattern, but it's a perfect speculator scan stock, a Cansom quality stock, so it's worth a long position. Only going to be 2%. First cut loss level, close below these lows here, and obviously a final emergency sell stop will be put with a move below the low a day of 53.84. It's gapping down a little bit after hours so far this Sunday as I checked, so great, get a little bit of a better fill. I like to actually see that. And then before I get to the final long, we're going to do a speculative long position in PLNR. PLNR is hot right now in a lot of the momentum low price stock chat rooms that I follow. Tried to day trade it twice on Friday. Had limit orders twice. If they would have been executed, would have been perfect. Could have got my 30-40 cents that I look for intraday on both of the rallies. Limit order was missed by 1 cent one time, missed by 4 cents the next time late in the day. What are you going to do? However, the good news is if the stock is going to continue to go up, it's giving me an excellent end-of-day long signal. Volume was huge on the earnings win, a major gap up higher, and then to see give back none of it the next day and actually close higher than where it closed the day before, very impressive, especially with it keeping max green bop. And look at the volume surge on Friday. Once again, huge. So I'm going to go ahead and enter a long position PLNR, speculative position, 1%. Like I said, I wish I had huge volume in the indexes, because I tell you what, if the NASDAQ volume here is huge on this V-shaped move right here, if these green bars are the size of these red bars right here, and those red bars were the size of these green bars, I tell you what, this PLNR chart, this is a very, very, very bullish move. Very, 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 very bullish post-earnings. I would definitely go much, much heavier into this position. But that then leads us to our final long position, ANGO. ANGO, if you look on a Zoom 2 chart, you can see it's building out a long, 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 big, 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 huge cup with a good size handle pattern. But the accumulation and the overall bop and price action on the leading up to the left side of this current cup with handle pattern was very, 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 very positive. Excellent price action, volume action. The pullback overall, you can see the volume was overall lower compared to the uptrend of the previous rally, and since it started its rally again at the end of or the beginning of October, managing to fight off, by the way, some of that market sell-off. As you can see, it held up very well compared to the overall market. Started a rally off those lows on huge accumulation, now appears to be building a handle, and it looks like we've gotten an early pocket pivot point signal in the handle. With the max green bop lasting for quite a while leading into the signal and the volume surge and the pocket pivot point signal, we can increase our size in this to 5%. Why not 10? Why not 20%? Handle isn't long enough. Bottom line. See that 50 still below the 200-day moving average? If it was above it, that would tell you that the handle is long enough, but it's still short. So this is a quote starter position, a 5% starter position. The first cut loss level is obviously going to be a close below these support levels right here around 1675. And then the final sell stop, I believe, for me is going to be below 1625. But there's a lot of good charts out there. Going to set up buy stops, or actually already have on TASR. I have it already on STRT. PANW has my buy stop. EEFT this weekend, buy stops. Electronic Arts, 99 earnings per share rating, buy stop. And then FLT, 98 earnings per share rating, buy stops. But you can see the handle being formed there in FLT, EA, Taser, STRT, PANW, and EEFT. It's basically the exact same chart patterns. That's bullish, especially with the market that's short-term so overbought on so many oscillators, including my MACDs, which once again I did not put here, but on a weekly aren't. That's bullish, guys.